Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for joining for another episode of this week's Duo Jive with your
What up,
hosts, Noah and
everybody?
Chris. How's it
Yes,
going, Chris?
I'm doing awesome. And how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm
Of
doing.
course, my pat answer is I'm doing super stinking fantastic.
I'm glad you
And
said it because I was gonna say it, but
yeah, and I am. I am always blessed, blessed beyond what I could possibly deserve. But I'm out here and very sunny. Not right at the moment. The sun's peeking behind the clouds, but I'm in Illinois.
okay, nice.
Most likely going to be in Denver in a couple weeks.
Work?
Yep. Yeah,
Whoa, that's
I was,
close.
yes, it is. I was just offered 125,000 a year to go to Denver for a 2-year project and then go to Salt Lake City after that for another 3 years.
Dude, those are both such, I mean, the same distance.
Yes,
You
sir.
could come
Same
home for the
distance.
weekend.
I can that. Yes, I can, as a matter of fact. You guys will have access to the RV while I'm home for the weekend.
We
If
could
you
come
want to
visit.
come.
We could come visit.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Spend the weekend with you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Those projects, will they be long enough? Or I'm sorry, will you be like turnaround the whole time, or is that going to be strictly
No
just
turnaround,
5 days a
40-hour
week?
weeks.
Perfect. So we can
40
hang out
hours
on
a
the
week.
weekend.
Yes, we can, as a matter of fact.
Dude,
Yep.
how
Your mom's
exciting.
already making plans. I've got to take the job first. They sent me a contract just now, and I've got to approve it, which says I'll accept the job. The thing that I didn't like about it is I'll be on a regular schedule,
Yeah.
and I'll get 5 days. I mean, of course, it said 5 days. There's no way I'm accepting that. But I'll have to set a period of time for my vacations and take vacations like the normal people,
You
and
don't
that's
like
hard
that,
for
do
me to
you?
do. No, not even close.
You don't take vacations unless the project ends. You don't take
Typically,
vacations as it is. So I mean, if you just I mean, the only vacation you have planned is the one in September for Montana. So with that being the case, I mean, you knew that far enough out to where you can plan that. You could let them know. And same
yeah.
goes for next year. If we plan another vacation, we just plan it early enough to where at the same time Levi and I and whoever else are putting in time, you just do it at the same time as us. It
Well,
sounds too sweet of a deal. I'm sorry. Just from what you told me.
well, I don't like being restricted. You know that,
I don't
and
blame you.
so
Trying to
I will
figure that
have
out
to.
myself.
I will have to either A, come to terms with the fact that I become a normie, or B, tell them straight up, I don't do that. Sorry, I just don't. I have a few things that I will do periodically where I'll be gone for 2 or 3 days, you know, into the weekend. But instead of a 2-day weekend, it'll be a 3-day weekend for me, or a 4-day
That
weekend.
shouldn't.
And I don't want it counting against the vacation time because I'm taking a week
Yeah.
and a half. I'm
Well,
taking a
that's
week and a
entirely up
half.
to you.
Yeah, I'm taking a week and a half for September this year. So already I'm going to blow it wide open, and there will be times. Yeah, yeah, I don't do that very well. You know.
Actually, that's funny you mentioned that because I just got an email from my company notifying me that they're pleased to announce. No, I don't say that. I don't think they said they're pleased, but they said we are announcing that we have restructured our paid time off system where we had vacation, sick, and then a couple personal days. So it was kind of like a grouping. And then since I've been there for so long, I've got extra vacation on top of it. Well,
Hmm.
because of that, I had a pretty stacked amount of time off. Obviously, you use sick for sick and vacation for vacation, and personals are just free days. They said that now we are going to combine all of it, and instead of being vacation, sick, and personal, we're going to have paid time off, PTO, and everything's going to be lumped in which you can use for sick, personal, or vacation. And the way it works is you're going to accrual it over the year, or it starts actually through the mid year now, which it started at the beginning, and you're going to accrual it over the year that you can utilize. With that being said, they said this is the amount that you get depending on the years you've been there. With sick, vacation, and personal, I had a total of 22 days. They announced that if you're at my tier bracket, which is the amount of years that I've been there, you get a whopping 18 days, which means I'm losing 4 days. I'm uh, I'm basically throwing it in there I'm losing
If you
four
join
sick
in, you're losing
days.
four. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing four. Well, I don't. There's no joining in. They announced this on Friday and it went live Saturday the next day, so nobody could use that excess vacation days left before the because it was the end of Friday, so the
It
day
was
was
put
over.
into
Nobody could use
effect too soon.
personal. It was
Yeah.
put into effect first thing Saturday. Nobody can use personal days for Saturday. Gotta love corporate America, saving some bucks.
Well, and that's true. That's true. I mean, as a company owner, I get it. I do. I get it. And if you own a company, you get it. You just get it. It's the way it goes. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm thinking more about. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So I
I
don't
don't
blame you.
know.
It's kind of a bummer in my situation. That's why still working pretty hard towards figuring out how to escape it, but one thing at a time.
Yep.
Uh, as you know, as time goes on, hopefully that can be. And anyone listening, if you have any pointers, anybody listening out there, if you got any pointers as to how you can escape the so-called matrix
The
and
grind.
find a
Yeah.
way, the grind, and well, a grind nonetheless. I would always consider it more of it's a different type of grind because you're grinding for someone else rather than yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any pointers, any ideas or anything that you just leave a comment, leave a question, us just give us some insight would be greatly appreciated.
Well, and you've been working hard towards actually setting yourself up for that, and I'm very proud of you in that. You are doing things that some guys don't take the time to do, right? A lot of guys just go to work and they come home from work and they're too tired, right? They want to sit in front of the TV and veg. They don't even want to do the work around the house. And it's a tough place to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you obviously, have been working very hard for your family, and I'm very proud of you for that. And you're
Well, thank you.
getting, that's how you get to that. That's how you get to that point where you're no longer working for the man. You're working for yourself.
Boom. There it is. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you're gonna get there fast enough. I'm very
Yep,
proud of you.
in time. Thank you. In time. But yeah, I was just kind of giving my spiel about the whole
Company
corporate
time
America
off.
company, time off,
Yep,
and even after working
yep,
for someone for so long, you could still go back, backtrack instead of progressing and furthering yourself.
yeah.
They're like, oh
Instead
no,
of
no,
getting
no,
more.
no.
That's not
Yeah,
the way that's supposed to work. That's right.
it's not. It's
You've been there how long
unfortunate
now?
because
7 years?
7 years as of next month.
Dude, dude,
It's long,
dude.
long, which is good because it's good to have a job for a long time, but
Yes, yes.
too
And
long
it creates
at the same
creates
time.
it helps to create stability.
Mhm.
That's important.
Exactly.
Very good
Well,
job.
speaking of that, everyone, welcome to another episode of Duo Jive, where I'm going to go ahead and introduce my new spiel. Two guys talking about life that's similar to yours, but different from everyone else's. Let that sink in. If you guys get a chance, make sure to follow both of us on social media. I've linked our Instagrams down below, so give us a follow. Make sure to DM us, talk to us. We're happy to chat and talk to you guys anytime.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just been
absolutely.
another week here.
Yeah, it's wow. It's hard to believe it's already been a week, actually.
Right. Did we podcast this time last week? Yeah, it was
Well, and
Tuesday,
we
huh?
did. We did actually Thursday instead of Tuesday.
We did
But
Thursday.
I like
Okay,
Tuesday.
so
I like Tuesday.
yeah,
It
I
works
agree.
better.
I
Yeah.
do too.
But
It gets
and that extra 2 days made it later in the week and closer to today, right? It doesn't seem like another week almost. But
hmm
yep, right in the middle of it.
That's
And
it.
thank you for thanks for joining us. Thanks for inviting me to be here. I always enjoy this.
hmm
Is
Which I
my
guess
is my destiny too loud?
I can't even hear it.
All right, good.
Yeah. And don't worry, we can edit and post. Not a problem.
Yeah. Well, I'll fool with that later anyway. Did you
Right on.
go? Did you go pick up the drone?
I didn't get a chance, so immediately after work, I was called by my father-in-law, or actually, I called him because Tiff told me that I had to run by his house to pick something up, and he gave us his old pellet grill. The
Ooh.
big pit boss. Yeah, so I went and used my work truck to pick it up. I still have yet to offload it. Went and did that, came home, made Tiff and I dinner,
Dinner,
and
yeah,
hopped on with you. So have yet to
right
go
on.
and grab it. I'll probably be doing that right after this, especially
Yep, yep.
because
Yeah, we need
I
to
don't know
wrap
if
up so that you can go take care of all
yeah,
the stuff. All right,
yeah, well,
cool,
there's no rush,
cool.
no rush, but
Yeah,
it's I'm excited. So thank you.
congratulations. That's funny that you say that because I've actually been thinking about getting some steaks and marinating them, and I got to have a grill. So I'm going to be looking at Walmart to see what they got available. Something I can throw some mesquite into, you know,
Yep,
and
there you
and grill
go.
up some stuff.
Oh, I can't go wrong with that. I will say, I have yet to get into grilling, so I need to really figure it
Mm,
out. That way
mm,
I can compare it to the way I cook, because I'm big into just a good old skillet like a griddle and just pan searing a steak, getting it to that medium rare
sure.
with a nice crust using some flavors.
Yes, yes, yes.
I know grilling's a little bit different, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Any pointers, anyone listening, any pointers on that? Highly recommend
Dude,
as well.
dude,
Grilling advice.
the guy that's got it down to a science, you got the grill from
Huh? I
your
know.
father-in-law.
Yep.
He lays down some steaks, bro, and
hmm
burgers and dogs, and just yeah, he's got it.
You're not
Make sure
wrong.
you, yeah, talk to him
I
about that.
wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing whenever he gave it to me, and I said, "Well, thank you very much. I'm going to go home and learn some recipes and learn how to use it so I can invite you over for a good steak." And he laughed. He did exactly that. He laughed. So I
He will.
think I'm gonna have to work up to some high expectations.
Yeah, that's great. Well, he'll enjoy your learning process.
Mm,
And you know what, though? And here's one of the greatest parts of that. I know him very, very well, have for a long, long time, and he enjoys being able to offer up some wisdom, right?
hmm
Some insight into how you make things better and why people freak out over his stuff because he's got it going on, man. Good for you.
hmm
I know.
Yep.
Well, so yeah, recap of the week and just
Same old, same
a
old.
lot going on.
So,
Yep.
did you see any
So what
movies?
about I did not see any movies at all. No, wait a minute. Wait. Did I go the other night just because? I
I thought you
did.
said you did.
I did. Yes, I'm so sorry. And that should probably tell you something, you know, what I'm thinking
Because you
about
already
that
forgot.
movie. No, it was Mission Impossible.
Yes, I actually I thought about going and seeing it, but I haven't seen any of the others.
Okay, you probably should. This one reflects so heavily on
Okay.
previous episodes. You probably would prefer to see and when it comes out, I'll go ahead and buy it and add it to the collection. We got all of them. We have every episode up to this one here. And so then when this one comes out available for us to buy, which will be about what, a month, maybe less, and that gives you time to watch all the previous episodes. So as far as the movie is concerned, it got a little bit too cliche.
Okay.
It got a,
Is
yeah, I
that
mean,
a
in other words, I found myself probably three or four times thinking, I hope they hurry up and finish this scene. I know he's gonna live, right? There's that whole feeling. Yeah, I know he's gonna live, so finish it so we can go to the next scene.
wrap
Does
it
that make
up?
any Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
exactly. And so that's where I found myself a couple of times, and I wouldn't spend money to go see it had I known.
You don't think it was intentional? Being that this is kind of like the final send off, final goodbye? Reaching down to its roots, which, those first movies came out so long ago that they, I mean, that in a way it was kind of an homage, you would say.
Yeah,
Do you think, or
yeah, kind
no?
of. Well, yeah, but at my expense.
Yeah. You were expecting something more modern?
Well, I wanted a little bit more fresh and new, and I didn't have it. There was, I mean, as far as the action, okay. So you got Mission Impossible action, right? It's always going to be stellar. It's going to be freaking awesome, right? But after a minute, it gets like, okay, God, can we finish this real quick? So that was awesome, but let's move on so that some of the scenes were a little bit too long. That
Okay.
was just my opinion, though.
It's still good enough to buy, though?
So the family can enjoy it. I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Which, it's funny you mentioned that. Tiff and I haven't been on the movie list recently, and I went and popped on and noticed all the new additions that you have, and I have some catching up to do. I don't go to the movies nearly as much as I used to. And I saw Death of a Unicorn on there. I'm like, I gotta watch that. Working Man, I gotta watch that. All of these movies that I need to add. Okay. Did you ever see
Yeah.
Beekeeper?
Yes, I did. And that was even better than Working Man.
Okay. Because I saw that, and then I saw Working Man, and I was like, I get kind of the same vibe, and I liked
Yes.
Beekeeper, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yes.
And
Yeah, two different
never got
stories,
around.
same actors, and always the same plots, right?
Hmm. I
But
mean, if they're
this
good and they work, you
yep,
know.
and they work for Jason. Absolutely.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And
Jason
so
Statham.
I thoroughly enjoyed the both of those movies better than seeing that was just me though. I enjoyed them better than seeing Mission.
Okay,
There
good
might
to
be some
know.
people get really mad about that, but I he just offered my
Hey,
two
it's your own
cents.
opinion.
Yes, sir.
Might, yeah. Who knows? That might be what causes us to blow up. Some good beef really
Yeah.
helps a channel
No
grow.
advertising is bad advertising. That's right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's very
So
true.
yeah, you do have some catching up to do. Obviously, I've been buying some every week, every other week, and just building it up. And there are a couple that I regret purchasing, and I haven't learned yet. I have yet to learn how to get rid of movie. I couldn't. I tried to delete a movie right after I bought it, and I can't find a way on earth
I don't
how to
think you can.
delete. Oh yeah,
Once
there's
you
got to be.
purchase, once you purchase, they look at it like once you purchase it, regardless, you own it, which means, and this is a digital era, so there's no like throwing it in the trash. It's just forgetting it's
Well,
there
there is.
almost.
Okay, well, that's the thing. We are in an area where throwing it in the trash is easier than it's ever been at any time. However, Apple just hasn't taken the time to make that a very friendly feature in the Apple operating system, right? Regarding Apple movies. And that is something that I'll research probably next week because there's a couple of movies. It's like, man, I don't think I want anybody to know I bought that.
Right? Well, now you got me
So
curious.
yeah, and it's like, and your mom and I were talking about it. She's like, "Why'd you buy that?" And I was like, "I don't know." It was like I saw it. I thought, that's probably good. Bought it and thought, "Man, that was stupid."
Yep, I regret
You
that.
know? Yeah, 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 yeah. And one of them you recommended,
Which one?
the one with Adam Sandler as a jeweler.
Oh yeah, that was great. Uncut Gems. That was a great movie.
Well,
The story was good, the plot was good, the ending, in my opinion, was fantastic. I mean,
I I think
what
the
makes it
ending was
bad?
okay. Well, the ending of the movie was its salvation, but it still wasn't good in my opinion, and the
Okay.
storyline. Maybe you know what though? If I would have watched it without your mom sitting next to me, it would have been
That would have
awesome.
helped. Hmm. And, yeah, and I will give you that it was slow. Like it
It had a
definitely
couple.
started off strong and then it got slower throughout the
Yep,
movie and then the end
yep,
saved it in a way to
yep,
where it kind
yep,
of
yep.
it kept it from being a mid-tier to a more of a higher tier movie for sure for me.
And frankly, I don't even remember it mainly because I constantly heard, "Oh, why did they do that? Oh, why did they do that? They didn't need to do that," and that was the whole movies.
Those were the
Yep,
worst kind of people to go to
yep.
movies with.
Yeah, and your mom, and then she's going to see this episode of the podcast and probably have some issues. But I mean, that's what happens when she's in the movies or in watching a movie with me. Certain movies, that might if it's got too much vulgar. Oh my gosh, she's going to have a
I
cow.
mean, yeah, it's not her type of
Too much
movies.
vulgar. What did I say? Too much vulgar. Too much profanity. Right, and then she's going to have a cow.
Yeah, practically. I mean, I got what you're saying, but yeah, you got
Yeah,
a
you
point.
got it. But I wanted our listeners to understand what I was actually getting at. Yeah. And then of course, it doesn't make it enjoyable for me at all.
Mm,
Even though
yeah,
I can overlook pretty much anything.
dampens the mood. That's whenever you need to, if you're gonna watch something like that with her.
Yep. Or without her.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna watch something like that with her, I mean, it's not even worth it. But then they have this new thing called, I think it's called Vid Angel. I don't
Yep.
know if you're familiar with that at all.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Gonna have to incorporate that into my movies here shortly when Lincoln's a little more,
Yes.
sen-
Yes.
would
And
the
see,
wordage be sentient or? aware of his surroundings and movies.
Yeah, yeah,
Once he
yeah,
does that, then it's
absolutely.
going to be PG from then on, even if we're not watching a PG movie like Deadpool.
Yeah, yeah, that can be rough. So all of the John Wick movies he can't watch, right? And then of course that Adam Sandler movie he can't watch it. You know, not even with a vid angel he can't watch it because the whole movie is going to be beep 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 beep
Well,
beep.
yeah, it's just going to be 15 minutes long. The whole movie is just going to be 15 minutes long.
That's great. Yep. So that's my movie experience for this week. What about you?
Right on. No movies this week for me. What do we do? This was just kind of, we were kind of recouping at home after our last week in Jackson. If anyone is listening, last week, Chris and I, we were talking about so 2 weeks ago, we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming and talked about our trip there and everything, which was a blast. Go back and listen to that. But we went and saw Lilo and Stitch and all that. This week was kind of just kicking it at home. This weekend was kicking it at home and waiting for the next movie to come out, which I think what comes out, there's something that comes out. I think Superman, no, I think that's next month. I think Superman and Fantastic Four are both in next month,
Fantastic. Yep,
July.
yep, 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 yep.
I don't know what comes out in June. I think there's a movie. I just don't remember.
Probably so. So you haven't gone to see one this week then. But you did
No, not
enjoy,
this weekend.
obviously, you did enjoy Lilo and Stitch.
That was fun. It was a little different. Same thing. Last podcast went and kind of gave my opinion on it and review. Go check that out. I'll leave it at, yeah, it was a good movie. Few changes though. Spoiler free right there.
Yeah. And I haven't seen it yet. And I'm kind of thinking
Oh,
I
you
might,
haven't? Oh, that's right.
just
Yeah, that's
because
right. Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, especially because you haven't seen the original. Anyone you talk to, I will say this, anyone you talk to that reads books for like if they've seen Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, but they read the books prior to the movies, they're always like, "Oh, the books are so much better. They messed up the movies." This is kind of that same thing. The classic cartoon is a classic in a cartoon, and this movie is not cartoon and it's not classic, so there's two things that make it different right there, even though it's the same story.
Hmm.
And then changing the story a little bit kind of just it can be a little off-putting by for some people and may not enjoy it as much.
Yeah, yeah. And I haven't seen the original, so either
Go
way,
check it out.
yeah. I might do that. Might do that. I mean, it sounds fun. Absolutely. Have
hmm
you gotten any new recipes?
Actually, tonight I tried a new recipe. This isn't one that I found on Instagram, so a little bit proud because I did it on my own. I made a Philly cheesesteak bowl. I was craving me some Philly cheesesteak, but without the bread, which it was kind of tricky, but I think I accomplished it pretty well.
This is gonna freak you out, dude. You ready for this? On my way home from work, I stopped at a little joint in one of the towns on my way back to the RV and got a Philly cheesesteak.
Dude, what can I say? Great minds think alike, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I got it in the wrap,
Okay, so you stuck to a lettuce wrap, or more of a like a what would you say? Like a tortilla
the
wrap?
flauta wrap. Yes, yeah,
Flauta. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so it's a
Tortilla wrap.
slightly less
Yeah, flauta.
less carbs. And how was it?
Freaking awesome. It
I,
was
I mean, you can't go
freaking
wrong.
awesome. Yeah. And this restaurant, they know me by name. So they're like, all right, what do you want now, Mr. Super Stinking Fantastic? You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking, I don't know. I want to do a Philly cheesesteak. I told her. And she's like, well, what if the special tonight is in a wrap. It's buffalo chicken. What if we put the Philly into the wrap instead of the chicken? I said, now you're talking. Man,
Mm-hmm.
y- that's how you earn a
Now
good
we're
tip, you know?
that's it.
Yeah. So
She was doing her
yes,
job well.
yes, absolutely. She always does. And of course I brought half of it home, so I got it for lunch tomorrow. So
Perfect. Even
yeah.
better. So I ended up we Tiff and I went shopping. A guy came into town. We had this like there was a truck that was sitting on the in the tractor you know where a tractor supply is in the center of town over there. There was a
Yeah,
truck sitting in that
absolutely.
area, kind of where all the fast food trucks are, and it was a big old like U-Haul looking truck, except on the side it had a billboard, 20 steaks for $40, premium steaks for $40, and I'm like, that's enticing to go see what that's all about. Definitely not going to be premium, but hey, 20 steaks for $40. I mean, Can you go wrong? And went and checked it out. Ended up spending way too much money there. Spent $100 on meat, and
Okay. All right. You have a freezer to
we
put it in.
that was the tricky part. We had to do a lot of changing and
Jockeying.
rearranging the yep, but
Well,
we
there's
got it
room
in
in my
there.
deep freeze in the garage, so you're more than welcome to put stuff in there if you need to.
I appreciate it, but I managed to get all of this in there. It wasn't too much. It was just the right amount actually, and that's what I told him because he kept trying to sweeten the deal, and I'm like, man, it's too much for me. I can't. I don't have the freezer for it, unfortunately. And picked up a few ribeyes, a few steak burgers, a few other things, and the ribeyes are unfortunately thin. So I was like, what can I do since I'm not gonna just cook these up and eat them? You know, it's too thin, and I like that medium rare. I was like, Philly cheesesteak bowl. So I cut them up really thin, like a cheesesteak, threw in some onions, threw in some cheese, fat-free cheese, and cooked it up. And then got a big bowl, got some lettuce and some spinach, like some shredded lettuce, threw it in the bowl, mixed it up, drizzled the steak with the onions. Oh yeah, and green bell peppers. So green bell peppers, onions, and the steak with some cheese on it, drizzled it on, and then I made a special like a special sauce almost. That was high protein, made out of cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and a bunch of other seasonings. Drizzled, kind of similar to my Big Mac sauce. Drizzled that on top and turned out pretty dang good. Pretty proud of it.
That's awesome.
Hmm
Well, that's freaking awesome.
Another recipe for you
Congratulations.
guys to put in the books. I should have recorded it, but first try. You know, next time I'll be
Yep.
able to be a little more
Yeah.
accustomed to have the routine, and I can focus on recording.
Dude, that is impressive. So you got the steaks today
I
and
got the
try it about
steaks a
tonight.
week ago. I got the
Oh,
steaks a week ago. We tried a couple. We got ranch pepper steak, some steak strips, some burgers, some regular ribeyes, and kind of been every other day kind of eating and choosing different meals. Like Tiff has a she's gonna take some of those ribeyes and chop them up and turn it into like a taco bowl carne asada type of deal. And I was like, that's a good idea. Now we're talking. Now we're thinking with our minds, you know,
yep.
capitalizing on the
Yep.
thinness of the
Yep.
ribeye.
Throwing that creative into the cooking process.
Mm.
Yeah, baby. All right. Well, good. So the Philly was good.
It was delicious. There's some improvements, but that'll be for next time. I'll just go ahead and incorporate those improvements and hopefully make it even
Right
better.
on. Right on. And you'll record it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. How about ice
Yeah, babe.
cream?
I got myself, okay, for everyone listening, I don't want to call myself a ice cream connoisseur, but I would like to one day. If I had a passion in life, it would be that I can earn the title as ice cream connoisseur. Hear the fanciness in that, and right now I'm kind of just dabbling in that by trying different ice creams every week because I'm addicted to it. And this past week I tried a new ice cream, um, a newer flavor. It was the Oreo, so it was the cake batter Oreo, or it was birthday cake Oreo. So it was cake batter and Oreo pieces and stuff like that. Cold Stone ice
Right on.
cream. When I tell you it was the best ice cream I've ever had in my life, dude.
And when did you have that?
I bought a pint of it 2 weeks ago and had it. My friend brought it home from the town next 2 hours
Okay.
away.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had
I
to
saw it on
put
your
it
Instagram
in.
channel.
Yes, I had to put it in a. So I tried it then, and then I had some more this weekend. Oh no, that was Jackson. I tried a different, and you were there for that. The Nick's ice cream. That's what I tried. I should have
Yes.
mentioned that last week. Last week, I didn't talk about it in the previous podcast, but whenever we were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I tried a new flavor of ice cream because they had it in that town that they don't have in mine. It's called Nick's. It's a low-calorie ice cream, if anyone's familiar with Halo Top. It's similar to that, except it's Swedish. I think it's like Swedish creators or Swedish brand. Really good. I think I like Halo Top better, but it's too early to say. I like all ice creams, and figuring out which one's better is going to take more time. You know, just trying them out. And but this one, I mean, it's the creamiest of the creamiest, Cold Stone, and it's so sweet, and that's what I was looking for. So the cake batter and the Oreo just
Really fit.
go
It
so
really,
well
yep.
together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I have not been doing ice cream since my stroke, except, these couple rare occasions where I got it while I was home with you guys
Okay.
to celebrate. But I haven't been doing ice cream. I haven't bought ice cream since I was home.
Is that
And I
because
didn't
of the sugar?
Well, just the sugar milk content of the cream. There are elements to ice cream, natural ice cream, that are quite unhealthy
Gotcha.
and really lend itself to high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that stuff. So I've been avoiding it. I haven't really tried these diet ice creams because just and the reason why is because I don't do diet. I just don't do diet anything, right?
That's
So
fair.
as a result, I just haven't done any ice cream whatsoever.
That
And
could be very beneficial for you in a weird just hear me out. In a weird way, that could be beneficial since you don't do ice cream like normal ice cream all the time or like even occasionally. Like you clearly haven't had it in a while. That means your palate doesn't have a familiar taste anymore as much as it did
and
to
be
the normal ice
expecting or
cream.
hoping for, yeah,
So by you getting these lower calorie ice creams, that's like the only thing that it knows, and so it's good. That's what happened to me. It's like you go so long without eating something that all of a sudden, even the healthy, more low-cal, not as delicious, not as sweet things might possibly be better just because your mind hasn't it's adapted to this different style of eating and the sweetness levels and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, totally get it. And I think there's a possibility it would be better for me. But yeah,
Okay, so
just
to
diet
start you
anything.
out, to start you out, I'm going to say two things. This isn't diet. Don't look at it like diet. It's not a diet because of there's no wordage on there that says diet. All it is, Halo Top is going to be your starter. Okay, I'm going to put you on this. Halo Top. Do you like chocolate? Do you like peanut butter? Or do you like what's your go-to ice cream normally?
Rocky Road.
Okay. So they don't have a rocky road yet, as far as, well, in the lower calorie versions of Halo Top. There's two different versions. There's Halo Top Mix-Ins and there's Halo Top the Classic. That's going to be your lowest calorie. That one's not as creamy. Sugars are like, if any, nothing because it's all just natural sweeteners and possibly some artificial as well. I need to read up on that and find out. And then it's high in protein. They replace the sugars and all that with protein and carbs, and that's how they get away with the lower calorie. And it's clearly not as bad as you or as bad as normal ice creams. And I think just getting you started, being that you like chocolate, just getting a bowl of chocolate fudge or chocolate brownie. I think there's like a triple chocolate brownie. Eat half of a pint, 150 calories. You wouldn't even know, but it's a whole bowl of ice cream. And that's what started
Yep,
this off. Now I'm like, oh, okay,
yep,
well, now I can eat ice cream guilt free. And now on weekends, I'm like, well, I want more ice cream and go and splurge on something else, on something like Cold Stone. And now I can actually taste the difference between Halo Top and Cold Stone, just the creaminess levels of it and the sweetness and all that stuff. I can just taste it. It's crazy how you can over time learn that.
yeah, yeah,
But I've enjoyed and indulged in Halo Top so much that even these low calorie ice creams are still delicious to me, especially because I don't look at them as diet.
yeah. All right. Well, I've been avoiding the ice cream. That is something I maybe should try this week. When I
You
saw it
don't
on
have
the
to.
when I saw the ice cream on the agenda as a topic, I all of a sudden got hungry for some ice cream. I mean, I
Okay,
wanted to
okay,
go
good.
get some, and I didn't. It's funny because coming right out of our subdivision, where my RV is parked here, the RV park, coming right out of it is an ice cream stand. I haven't
Oh, okay.
stopped there. I've been here for a month and I have not stopped there yet.
So they're gonna have just your typical ice cream, like not they
The
won't have a Halo Top or anything.
Probably not, no.
Locale.
But I
Okay.
mean, I've been gauging my lack of participation in the normal things that people do when they have a craving for ice cream. The lack of participation has been a good sign for me, you know?
And if you do it every now and then, it's not wrong. Like in moderation, it's not bad, especially whenever it comes
No.
to food. Typically, I should
Yeah.
be more specific in this, but specifically whenever it comes to food, doing things in moderation is not bad for you as long as you learn to keep
Yep.
it that way and
Yep.
indulge every now and then. And that's why, I love ice cream so much that with this Halo Top, it allows me to do it more than every now and then. But I still on the weekend get to enjoy a good old-fashioned cup of unhealthy, delicious Cold Stone ice cream.
Yeah, I guess I should remind myself that it's okay to indulge every
So that'll
once in
be
a while.
that'll be what I recommend to everybody. If you get the chance, go check out Halo Top and just try one of their classic flavors. They usually sit a whole pint sits between 300 to 400 calories in that range. Super light, super delicious, super easy. A good starting point if you want to enjoy something sweet and still trying to stay under your calories and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
Then goes
yeah.
for you.
All right, I'm gonna
Triple
I'm gonna
chocolate
see if
Halo
they
Top.
and I'll have to see if they have any here.
That's yeah. Check it
That's the
out, find
question.
out.
That'll be the real question. Well, good. All right, let's
Yes,
do it.
sir.
I saw your Instagram post today or yesterday, and it was about
The 7 second one?
nobody. Well, yeah, nobody warned you about the whole thing about growing into your person. I found that
How
fascinating.
lonely growing as a person can feel?
Yes.
Yes.
What's that mean?
I kind of went more in depth in it on the description, on
The written
if you go to
description?
the
Okay. All
written
right, I'll check that
description,
out.
I went and kind of just talking about, especially okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a little bit from me, but a majority of this I used, and this is actually kind of a good segue into another topic. I'm recently dabbling in AI. I've
Okay.
I've now started using, I guess, Chat GPT. I use other AIs, but GPT is insane.
Yes, it is.
They a majority they helped me to write this whole phrase, and with that, it made it a lot easier to kind of focus on the project as a whole. Getting it done in a rapid time rather than spending hours on it. I was able to kind of just put it together like that. I was able to give my opinions and little bits and pieces here and there for it to combine and then create this almost like a just a little article on personal growth and where I'm at and how, a different mindset, different take on it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
It was a adding a cliche sound, a little popular sound and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the phrase caught me off guard. I didn't quite completely understand it, so that's why I was excited to be able to talk to you about it.
Oh yeah. Well, if you read it, it starts off with nobody warns you about how isolating self-growth can be. When you start leveling up, setting boundaries, improving habits, just overall, people tied to you, to your old self, start fading out. It's not personal, but it still hits because it's like you start changing habits that your friends or relatives or whatever still do. And then you're like, well, I want to be able to go through this journey with you, but clearly now we're on a separate journey. And I'm not saying that my journey is the right journey, but it's definitely a journey that I can tell is leading to a more healthy road. I'd like to believe. And because of that, you want to see the best for other people, but things can change, Then it goes in and says the hard part is the space in between when you're not who you were, but you haven't found who your new circle is yet. That's where most guys slip back, where it's easy to fall back into the normal routine and the new normal habit of what you lived prior because it was easy. It was familiar. It was something that everyone else around you is doing. And then I go into explaining, but if you stay the course, the right people show up, men who push you, challenge you. Seek like-minded people. I mean, you know that. I mean, that goes for everything, not just God.
Yes. Yes.
God definitely, you definitely want to be around the right people whenever it comes
Especially,
to being in
yeah.
a godly relationship, but that goes further and just talking about your overall, your daily routine, your habits, your hobbies, anything in that realm. Find the right people who show up, men who push you, challenge you, and respect the path you're on. You don't need a crowd, just a solid crew that's growing too. Makes the journey all the more easier.
Right on.
Crazy that
Right on.
AI helped me write that because it almost sounds, it's deep in my
Well,
opinion.
philosophically, it's like, whoa, you know, and you don't usually do deep stuff like that. So
Not at all. That's why I did it.
yeah, I found it fascinating.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little different, a little
I'm
offbeat.
interested. I'm interested to hear how it plays out. for you.
Well, it's already almost at 400 views in comparison to my other videos, which the one previous is at 200. You know, I already had
Wow.
double the viewership, and it helps that I used a very uh catchy noise, and the video's so short. You know, it's not really focusing on the video itself; it's focusing on the
The phrase.
description.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
music playing behind. Yeah, just figuring out social media. You know, just another
Right
post
on.
out there and
Right on.
discovery.
Right on.
I didn't know that stuck out to you.
It did. It did. And when I read it, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, now I need to read it again. Now I need to read it again. I
That's
wanted to
where the
make sure
AI
I
comes in.
understood it.
Yeah, a
Yep.
little
Yep.
wonky. I feel like yeah,
That's all right.
it's you can't understand it if you really focus in, but yeah, a little wonky initially.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Just gave my pointers. It helped me create the paragraphs and then copy and paste, baby.
Yeah. Right on. We are at about 8:49 already.
Oh yeah, yeah, 43 minutes and counting. Is there anything else you were wanting to add? I know we haven't been able to get to our trivia questions, whether that's Marvel or whatever. You want to save that for next week or
Well, looks like we'll have to.
yeah,
Hope our listeners will be
sounds
okay
good.
with that. Looks like we'll have to wait until next week to pick that back up because we spent
Yep,
a lot
look,
of time on several subjects that I don't
we
think we
did.
planned on.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it happens. It's part of the
We can
conversation.
do that. We can do that. And we've spent a lot of time on trivia. And I was getting ready to research some more trivia because I've got some already for this week. I was getting ready to research some more when I got distracted for the next week.
Are we sticking to
Yeah,
Marvel?
man. Well, we're in it now. I don't know how much will stay in it, but yeah.
They really seem to get some views, I will say.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Let's stay in it. I found this. It took me a minute to find it. And then when
Yeah,
I
I
found
mean,
it, I couldn't find the channel, just the channel by itself. It wanted to mix it with other stuff. So I'm trying to find my way around YouTube as a resource for that.
well, Duo Jive I now created it as a podcast, so it's on a podcast, kind of like a little
Yep.
subset. So it does,
Yep.
since it doesn't have any traction yet, it kind of makes it difficult to find. That's the hard part, man. It's getting off the ground, but that's why you stay consistent in it.
Yeah.
Any advice
Yeah.
to anyone out there? I'm still figuring it out myself, but consistency is a key.
Yep.
If you want to unlock something,
Yep. That's right.
work towards
That's
it.
right. And I totally agree with that. Totally agree. It's the same way at work even for me,
Yeah,
you know, and
just
for
in life.
God and everything else.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. So you're making plans to head to Universe, of course.
Oh yeah, I brought that up in last week's episode. Yeah, Epic Universe, diehard theme park fanatic over here. Just go ahead and do a quick recap. Last week went into detail on that. Got a trip coming up. Should tag along. I know you've got a new job coming up, so it's going to definitely make things hard, but more than
Yeah.
welcome to show up and have a good time with us,
Yeah. And thank you for that.
of course.
Yeah. Well, it might
You
be in
have
between.
accommodations. You just need to fly and
Yeah.
buy a ticket.
Well, you never know. Might be in between jobs too. So
That's true. We will
something to
see.
remember there.
It's a little
Yeah.
ways away. Got some time. So, as far as anyone's listening out there, we haven't gotten to the trivia, the Marvel or whatever trivia we were planning on doing. Stay tuned next week. We will go ahead and get back to it. It gives you something to look forward to. Next week, we'll go ahead and get back to our Marvel trivia or just trivia questions in general. Still figuring that out. I know Marvel is getting pretty good traction, so we might stick to it in the meantime. But make sure to listen in on the next episode after you're done listening to this episode. If the next one's already out or whatever, just look forward to that.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
I like it.
Yes, sir. I agree. Are we wrapping up? Any other topics from you?
Well, something that I have had heavy on my heart, not actually heavy, it hasn't been heavy at all. It's been more what I've had on my heart in a good way is that, as human beings, we live our life from day to day. and we get really caught up in it. And a lady yesterday in my RV park here, she was with her husband and was talking to me, but just so happens I work with her husband. And I was meeting her for the first time, and we were talking, and she goes, "So you're a Christian, huh?" I said, "Well, yes, ma'am." She said, "Well, I gotta ask, all right, how do you know what is the right book to reference, and how do you know God's real?" Well, dude, you know me. It's like, yes, ma'am, let's go,
Hmm.
right? But one of the things that I felt stood out with as far as for the Duo Jive audience was a reference to the fact that every morning I'm turning on. A lot of people don't know that the U version app exists. And the U version app is one of the best resources you can possibly have if you want to know what the scripture has to say. U version.
I'm
It's
not
just called,
familiar.
dude, U version. And every morning, what I do is I pull it up, and then it stays up on my phone, and then I hit play, and it starts reading me the scripture. So while I'm getting ready, and now while I'm driving a half hour to work, it's playing, and
Okay.
I'm able to get more scripture in a day than normal.
100%, because you're listening and not having to take the time to focus on it with
Correct.
reading.
Correct, correct. And there might be something that I want to read every once in a while, but not usually. I usually, 9 times out of 10, am enjoying listening to that scripture, and I've already been through it twice.
It's
So,
crazy.
so you're able to take in scripture, right? More than normal
And what
by
do you mean
using
twice?
that all the way through the Bible.
Twice through that
Yeah.
through U version. Okay,
Yes.
that is crazy.
So what I do for 45 minutes, I'm listening to scripture. Now, 45 minutes of scripture, that's multiple chapters. And I've accomplished entire books in less than a week, whether it was Matthew or Mark or Luke, and then I come back to it and do it again. So yes,
Probably
I
always learning something new in that process too. Hearing something
always,
that you
always,
weren't don't
yes,
recall the
always.
first time.
Well, number one, I'm ingesting the word. I'm putting it in me, right? And as a result, I can live more of it, and that's very important. Very important for any person. And if you want to know more about God or why God? I'm 24 years old, Chris. I've got a job and I'm doing good. I don't really need God right now. Well, that's a dangerous place to be. All right. But one of the best things about this U version is you're taking it in on a daily basis and able to understand why. It's really good. Yeah, U version. Download
Hmm.
it. And when they're not a sponsor, U version
Not
is not a
sponsor.
sponsor. That's not why I'm talking about them.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's good to mention. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
hopefully that's something we should talk about in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But right now it's completely free. And that should say something to how good it is and how valuable it is and how important it can be. And I think importance of being able to do that on a daily basis, nobody can say enough about that. What about you?
As far as
You version.
I haven't checked it out yet. I'm gonna have to download it.
So here's the question. Have I inspired you to want to?
Yes, yep.
I'm gonna put you on
To
the
check it
spot.
out, to check it out at least. I know that my kind of niche, and maybe this might be something that YouVersion can figure out in the future, possibly incorporating this type of thing. This is me personally, not speaking for the masses or anything here. My niche is I like to listen to conversations. I don't like listening to somebody speak to me directly or read to me like that in a way, if that makes sense. Like they're reading to me, like I can tell it's a reading rather than now if it's storytelling, then we're getting into a little bit more something that I would enjoy and I'd be able to absorb better being the age I am and all that. So, I mean, if Spotify captivate or if they capitalized on that kind of, or not Spotify, I'm sorry,
You
YouVersion
version.
capitalized
Hmm.
on that and kind of advertised as a storytelling because they're basically just telling the
They
story
have
of
it.
the Bible
They
through.
have it.
They have. They haven't.
They have. They have.
They have. Okay.
They have.
See, now
Yep.
if you bring that up, if you portray it as a storytelling app telling you
Yes.
stories in the Bible,
Yes.
and that's a little more
They got
my style.
stories. They got stories. They got stories. They got stories, and they have other things as well. That's why you need to check it out. YouVersion. And when you got
Hmm.
it on your phone, watch this. When there's something happening at church when you are there, and you need a quick reference to the Bible, pull up your YouVersion. Tell it
Right.
what chapter and verse you want it to pull up, and it'll pull it right up. I mean, it's just freaking convenient.
Now, it's not the version isn't the Bible app, right?
New
Or
version.
I
I think
to,
so.
it's the
Yeah,
Bible app.
yeah, the Bible app, but
Yeah, I have
it's
that.
put out by YouVersion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
With
right.
it's the little
All right.
Bible. It's the Holy
Yeah.
Bible, and
Yeah.
it's just called
Yeah.
Bible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have that app.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have had that
YouVersion
app for me.
Bible app. Yeah.
Yes, Bible from YouVersion.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I
All
do
right.
have that, and I do utilize the speaking, but not to the degree you do. I do utilize anytime I want to hear a Bible verse, I will use audio rather than
Right on
read.
reading it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't
All
get into
right.
it as heavy. Like for example, that post that I sent you a couple, and then I sent everyone a post of somebody is taking these Bible stories and turning them into an AI, or they're using
Yes.
AI to turn these Bible stories, and they're doing it vlog style to where these famous Bible characters like Noah, Daniel, David, all these different famous Bible characters are almost like vlogging about their,
Yes.
famous
Yes.
story in the Bible. And it's we're captivated by it because it's Bible related, but then I guarantee you because of the way it's portrayed, I'm pretty sure it's probably clearly it's blowing up and it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be captivated because everyone's familiar
Yes.
with those Bible stories regardless of
Yes.
what you believe or what you're doing now in life and it's still got that little niche to it. It's like, "Oh, well, this is familiar and different."
It's freaking
And it
awesome.
captivated me. And then
Yep.
the AI throws it off because then it's not like it's not the same. Like the guy's voice will his appearance will change throughout the clips and his voice will change because of the AI just not being able to keep track yet.
Yeah. 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 I heard that. Like how Tiffany pointed it out. That was awesome.
But that's a great way because it's like a modern version of kind of teaching people or getting people invested into something that's
Yes.
godly, Bible related, Bible stories teaching them different, hopefully a life lesson that they may not be familiar with, or they might be familiar with, but then because they're older, they might learn a different aspect of it that they didn't learn being younger and something like that. Relearning, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Teaching, doing it that way is, I think it's cool, big time.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. I started really enjoying those today because of you. I started enjoying those
You
today.
saw more
Yeah, I sure did.
other than the Noah one? Yeah, there's some. I
Yeah.
saw Daniel. Daniel's was good. And I love
Huh?
how they ended it where it was like it's like they're vlogging, like they're signing out in a vlog, like, all right, guys, thanks for watching and make sure to love God
Yep.
and amen. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, that was wild.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Matter of fact, I'll look at some of those tonight.
Right.
That's great. All
But
right.
yeah, that's like it's like a good example. Like you version being able to capitalize on that to kind of, and I do have it. I didn't exactly know what you were talking about, and I should have because every time I open the app, the first thing it says is Bible from you version, but I focus
Yeah.
on the Bible
Yep.
part. But
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
yeah. They're when you started telling me these things by you version, my mind went, "Oh, my Bible app does that." It's probably not as good, but now it makes
That's
sense.
great. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, so every morning, you know, getting that in,
So, what's
would
your word?
love to inspire.
What's your advice to everyone listening?
Well, Well, I've been serving God for 60 years, dude. I remember what it's like as a young person, I'm talking teenager, to go to a church service and there's always this one or two or three people that are there that I look at them and think, wow, they've achieved. they must have achieved perfection in God because they've been serving God for so long, right? And that's kind of, I've been serving God for that long now, and it's funny because nobody's perfect. Nobody does. Nobody achieves that perfection. Nobody gets to that point where there's absolutely nothing to worry about in your spiritual life, or whether or not you've achieved a higher level or a walk with God. Nobody does. Nobody does, and that's one of the beauties of it. Paul said, "I'll glory in my weakness," and what he meant by that is, I'm a human being. I am weak, and that's okay. Or God will glory in my weakness. God will receive the glory for being the one who comes back and says, "Hey, look, I forgive you, and I still save you." You know, it's freaking awesome. And that's my word.
That's your word?
Yes, sir.
You need anything to carry for anybody? Anything?
No, no. I'm get your U version.
Get your U
Download the
version.
U version. Yeah, download it.
Recommendation of the day is get your U version. Get the Bible app and check about it by U version and check out what they have to offer. It's a good starting point.
Absolutely. Yes. How about you?
Yeah, you summed it up right there.
Okay.
Summed
All
it up
right.
well. That's about it for me.
Okay. Well, what do you got to say to your listeners today, Noah?
Thanks for listening in, and glad you guys were able to enjoy. Hopefully, you enjoyed this week's podcast with your hosts Noah and Chris on Duo Jive. As you know, make sure to live life to the fullest.
Living life to the fullest, baby. Love it.
That's
All right.
it. All right.
Talk to you next week, huh?
Sounds good.
All
See
right.
you then.
All right, bud.
Peace.
Peace.